My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And we're also giving away $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets, signs up with one of our 5 betting partners, and makes a deposit, will get $50 from us. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. And this is brought to you by EarnU.io. EarnU.io is the world's first sports and esports prediction game, allowing you to earn crypto risk-free. Check it out now at EarnU.io. Next up at UFC Vegas 53, we have Andre "Touchy" Fili taking on Joanderson Brito. Andre Fili, 21-8 overall, 2-2-1, coming off a no contest with Daniel Pineda because of an eye poke in his last 5. Joanderson Brito, 12-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off a loss to Bill Algeo. Andre Fili, he's a really well-rounded guy, and he was supposed to be the next big thing coming out of Team Alpha Male, but he never really lived up to that hype, and I think part of that was matchmaking. I do think they threw him in with killers a little too early. Max Holloway was his second fight in the UFC, and then his losses were to Yair Rodriguez and Calvin Kattar. Style-wise, Andre's a very well-rounded technical brawler with wrestling. He gets hit often, which you can see with his negative striking differential when I get to that slide, and he relies on his chin quite a bit, which for the most part has held up, but you really can't build a long career, and you can't fight into your mid to late 30s leaning on your chin. Joanderson Brito is a very fast and athletic grappler with solid top pressure and a wide array of submissions. He's coming off a close loss to Bill Algeo where he had 2 takedowns, which was after a dominant win on the Contender Series where he had 3 takedowns. His striking isn't very technical, but he will come forward and throw bombs. Big, wide punches and heavy kicks with almost no regard for what comes back his way. But even though he's comfortable striking, he will look to get it to the ground and work from there. And this could be a really fun fight. Both Fili and Brito have no problems getting into a war, and both these guys are really well-rounded. Each have solid striking with the technical advantage to Fili and solid grappling with the advantage to Brito. I think this fight can end up looking a lot like the Algeo-Brito fight, where Algeo was able to get the better of the striking exchanges and hang in the grappling department. If Fili works in his takedowns like he did when he had 5 takedowns against Charles Jourdain, he should be able to avoid the submissions and gride out a win. I'm like an Andre Fili here, but I got to be honest with you, when I was taking my notes and doing my breakdown, I was flipping back and forth. My gut was like, Joanderson Brito beats him. And then I was digging in, looking at the stats, looking at their last few fights, and I went Andre Fili. So I think the odds are wide. I think the DraftKings pricing is a little wide, but I do think Andre Fili wins. What do you think, Jicky boy?
I'm a big Andre Fili guy. I like him because he is so well-rounded. I love those well-rounded guys that are slick with their striking, but also good on the ground. But when I researched this fight, I thought that Joanderson Brito was going to be the favorite in this fight, as dominant as he showed in his wrestling abilities. And it was one of those, he picked up Bill Algeo in that fight and started just carrying him around the octagon. He was like he couldn't find his corner. It was a very kind of funny situation. He was like just carrying him around. He's like, oh, there's my corner. Ended up dumping him, controlling him on the ground. If you watch Andre Fili versus Bryce Mitchell, he was controlled that entire fight. And obviously Bryce Mitchell is a different animal, right? He is that I talk about that next level guy. He's that next level grappler. Everyone is going to end up on your back and controlled by Bryce Mitchell. But I think that path to victory for Joanderson Brito is there. I think if he can get this fight to the ground, we've seen Andre Fili not be able to get back to his feet from his back, and I think that path to victory is there. His last fight against Bill Algeo, that was his UFC debut. You could tell he's a little bit jittery. He came out a little too aggressive. He kind of blew his load a little bit. You could see he gassed in those later rounds, but he's one of those guys that he gets tired, but he doesn't stop when he's tired. He'll get tired, physically, but mentally he's still there. He'll still push forward. He'll still try and push that pace. And if he's able to still get those takedowns late, I think that he can win this fight. So I'm a big Andre Fili guy. I like his game. But I'm going with the underdog here. I'm going with Joanderson Brito just because I think that path to victory is there with the takedowns and controlling them on the ground. If Andre Fili comes out and wins, that's what he's supposed to do. He's almost a 3-1 favorite, but I'm going with Joanderson Brito with that path to victory with the grappling.
Well, and he is a dreamer, so this could work out for him. I think I don't necessarily disagree, and I had the same gut feeling, But then I watched back that Bill Algeo fight, and Brito had 2 solid takedowns, and he still lost that fight. And I think this could actually look similar. Where, well, first of all, Andre Fili can also wrestle, so it's not ridiculous that he takes down Brito. But I am going with Fili here, but I think the odds are really wide. And when I saw it on paper, before taking my notes, before doing anything else, I was like, Joanderson Brito. I literally checked the box on my notes before I did. And then I dug in, watched it, looked at it, and then I flipped my pick there. But these odds are crazy. I don't like Andre Fili at $9,300 because I don't think he's going to stop Brito. And if he doesn't stop him, the only way to really make it worthwhile money-wise is to get 1 million takedowns in control time, which I don't necessarily know. That might happen, but I just don't know if it will.
I can't see him wanting to entertain the ground game of Brito. I think he needs to pressure with his striking. That's what you do. You pressure the wrestlers, put them on their back foot, get him tired because Brito will get tired. But if he ends up on his back at all, it's bad news. This could be a live bet situation. I mean, if early on, if Brito's able to get that easy takedown and control him, you better start smashing that.
Yeah, I mean, depending how my DraftKings lineup works out, I may end up having Joanderson Brito in that. We'll see what that looks like. But, I do think Andre Fili should win this fight. I think he's the better striker. And just like I said, this may be a complete repeat of the Bill Algeo Joanderson Brito fight. 54 strikes to 45. I do think this is a war. I do think it goes the distance or very close to it. So I think this is a more monkey knife fight play. Check that out. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Brito is plus 210. The plus 3.5 for Brito is at minus 110.
Yeah, so if you don't know what that bet is, you're basically buying a round on the judge's scorecard. So you can go straight Joanderson Brito, plus 210, he has to win the fight in real life. Or, Jacob just said at minus 110, you buy a round on the judge's scorecard. So if Joanderson Brito wins on his own, straight up wins the fight, you get paid. If Joanderson Brito loses a 29-28, you still get paid because you bought a round on the scorecard and all you needed him to do was win a round on his own. You're only going to get that bet at WeWantPicks.com/bets. We have 5 partners. The one partner that offers the buy a round bet is BetOnline. If you hop in through our link and you make a deposit, I send you $50 as a thank you.